Guys, Ryan here with Tonic Site Shop, and in this quick tutorial I'm going to show you how you can edit the custom button in your Fitzgerald template. So if you didn't know, your Fitzgerald template actually comes with a custom HTML button, and there is CSS that styles that button. Now if none of that makes sense to you, don't worry, I'm going to walk you through everything that you need to know right now. So the first thing that you need to do is know where the button is located. So on the home page, this button is located twice. So if we scroll down, we'll see the first instance of this button here under the Explore Fitzgerald Wedding. If I click into this and I double click on this button, you're going to see some HTML, which is here, and then your CSS. So the CSS styles the HTML. So this is just a button, and I'm going to go into how to update the styles here in a second. I wanted to show you where the other button is. So if you keep scrolling down, it's in this section here, the home CTA. So if we click on that, we can see this button here again. Now, the cool thing is that we can have different text within each of the buttons. So you can see this one says, "Let's do this." And if we go back to the home page, we scroll down, we'll see this button has browse the work. So they are two separate buttons. However, even though there are separate styles here, if we update any styles here, we need to remember to update the styles in the second button as well. So let's go ahead and update this button to have a different look, and I'll walk you through what those styles could look like. So let's open this up, and let's say we want the button to be white with black text. So if we scroll down, we see this dot fits button 1, and this is a selector. So what we see here is a bunch of different styles. The ones that you're going to want to pay attention to are the border. So this is going to tell you that the border is 1 pixel, it's solid line, and it's the color white. So this hex code FFF is white. So if you wanted the border to be black, we would just type in 000,000. And if you want to know the hex code for any color, you can simply Google it. You could just type in like hex code for black, or you can do hex code finder in Google, and there's a bunch of different resources out there that will show you different hex codes for all the variations and shades of any color possible. So you could grab any hex code color and place it there. So, but again, we're going to turn this button black. So we want the border to be black. And then you can see this background is currently set to none. So it's transparent, but we want this background to be black as well. So we're going to do hashtag 000,000. And then we want the color of the actual text. So this is the color is the text color, and that's going to be white. So that looks good. So FFF. Font size, you can obviously change the font size here if you want to. So currently it's set to 15 pixels, and I think that looks good. Some of this you won't really want to touch. These are just positioning the button, and this is actually, so this cursor pointer, basically when you hover over the button, it changes from just this kind of like pointer to the grabber hand. So really the only ones that you're going to want to touch are border, background, and color and font size. If you want to change the font family, you can do so, but I will show you how to do that here in a second. So let's go to Fits button 1 hover. So these are going to be the styles that show when you hover on the button. So I think what we could do is actually just keep this, because the background is going to be white and the color of the text is going to be black. So let's hit save and check that out. Our button is now black with white text. And if we hit preview, actually, let me back up 1 second. I told you we have to actually update both buttons for this to work. So let's go ahead and do that. One way to do that without having to just manually make the changes again would be to copy this entire style tag. So from the beginning of style, we go down and copy the end, and then we're just going to hit Command C and then hit save. Let's go back down to our button here. And if we open this up, double click, and then we'll just replace this style. If you don't do this, what's going to happen is some of these styles are going to clash. And so you may not see any changes actually happen. So let's hit save, and you can see now that works. Now I know some of you are already going to have the question, but I want this one to have a different style than the top one. And we're going to go over that as well. So let's hit preview, and we'll go to the home page. And if we scroll down, we're going to see that our button has a new style. And when we hover, it's white and it has the black text. So that looks good. And if we go down here, you can see the same changes here. Now, to answer your question about can this button be different than the top button? Yes, it can be. Or vice versa. If you want the top button to be different and this one to stay the same, you could do that. What you have to do is change this class. So here's a little HTML and CSS lesson. The HTML has a class, which is an identifier. So we're identifying this button as Fits Button 1, and then our styles are targeting that HTML. So what we want to do is change this to, let's say, Fits Button 2. I mean, you can add anything. You can add alt here. You can add anything that makes sense to you. I think just adding 2 is best because it just changes the class to know that it's the button number 2. And then what we need to do is go down here and actually change the classes to match that. So we're just going to replace that 1 with 2. Okay, so now let's do this. Let's go back and let's say we want that background to be transparent again. So you can either type in none or you can type in transparent. And then we want the color of the text to be white. That's great. And then the border, remember we changed that to black. I think we should change that back to white. And then this looks good. So we'll hit save, and we can see now our button has gone back to be just the white border with the white text. You may see that the bottom is cut off a little bit and the side, but that's just to show it kind of rendering issue. It will look great on the actual page in your browser. So let's go back to the home page. And if we scroll down, we can see that this one should still be black. And the one down here will have the white border because we changed the selector there. So let's hit preview, and then we'll go back to our page. And then if we hit refresh, you'll see perfect. This button is now white border with white text, and it has the white hover, which looks really good. And then if we scroll up, this one is still this one is still changed to black background with the white hover, which I think looks really good as well. So let's say you want to change the actual font family of these buttons. The way you do that, it's again a little bit complicated here, but I'm here to walk you through what you need to know how to do. So what we need to do is get the font family name. And the best way to do that is to use your browser's inspect code. So let's say we want to use this sans serif font here. What we're going to do is we're going to right click on it, and then we're going to hit inspect right here. And what inspect is going to do is it's probably going to open you up to just this browser mode right here. This button right here will switch you into mobile or the desktop version. And then we can click on this little button right here, which is the arrow button. and we can select whatever we want. So we want to select this paragraph text, and you can see the styles right here. Okay. So we can see font family is enter. So what we want to do now is copy this code or the font family name exactly how it is. So if the I is capitalized, we want that. If there's these quotation marks, single quotation marks. If there are these single quotation marks, we have to keep those as well. So let's hit copy and let's go back to show it. And let's do this for both of the buttons. So let's double click into this button, and under Fits button 1, we'll see font family. So let's remove the current font and paste the new font. Let's hit save, and then we'll scroll down. And then let's do that on this one as well. So let's double click this button, scroll down, and we remove this font and then paste that other font family. We'll hit save, and then let's hit preview. Sometimes you may not see the changes update within the Show It editor, but again, on the live site, you'll see that it is correct. It did update, and that looks really great. Let's go down and let's see if this other one has updated, and it has. So that's a little walkthrough of the Fitzgerlad Custom Button. There is one more thing I want to show you. It's a little bit even more advanced, but it is useful for those of you who really want a custom button. And that is to be able to customize the mobile version of this button differently than the actual desktop version. So let's go back to show it, and I'll show you a really simple way that you can target the mobile version. So let's double click this button, and let's say for this button, we want on mobile the font size to be a little bit smaller. So instead of 15 pixels, let's say we want it to be 10 pixels. The best way to do this is let's copy this selector, and then we're going to create a new piece of CSS. The best way to target things on mobile on Show It websites is to add a .m and then a space and then our selector. And this is going to target just the mobile version. Okay, so we need to open with a bracket, and then we're going to add our font family, our font size. So we could just copy this, and then space, or return, and then we're going to close it out. Now we can go in and update this to 10 pixels, and then we'll hit save. So what this is going to do now is it's going to update the mobile version differently than the desktop. So if we do this again, we can look at this button and we see the Fits button 2 is 15 pixels. However, if we look at the mobile version here and we select this item, we can see that Fits button 2 is now 10 pixels. And we can confirm that by just changing it here, and we know that it's targeting just the mobile. So you can do that with any of the custom buttons you have on your Fitzgerlad website. And you're not limited to just the font size. You can go and change the background color, the border, and the hover as well, specifically for mobile if you would like. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thanks. Bye.